Welcome, amazing realtors, real estate agents, brokers, and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2019, and this is Mastermind call number 230. We have two people in the queue. We got plenty of room for more. The way this works, guys, nothing is out of bounds here. It's an open forum. Challenges, questions, places you're getting stuck. We love successes, and we always have a winner of the week where we give you either some free leads or a credit towards your next set of leads. So don't be shy or feel like you're bragging. If you've got a success story, there's a lot of other people that can benefit and learn from it. So just hit *6 and then hit 1, and you will get put in the queue. I have kind of hot off the presses. I have one thing I do want to mention here. As many of you know, my wife has a short sale company. She's done over 2,000 short sales. She's working on 2 commercial short sales. One individual owns 2 hotels in Oklahoma and Nebraska. So if we have any real estate agents on the line in Alva, Oklahoma, or McCook, Nebraska, or anywhere near those places, she just needs a licensed agent to get the properties into multiple listing, and she'll do all the work on the short sale. If all goes well, all you may have to do is just list it and collect a commission. So if you are in or near Alva, Oklahoma, or McCook, Nebraska, just call 954-584-0000 and ask for Pam. And by the way, if any of you ever need referrals like that, feel free. We'll mention it on the call, and also post it in our Facebook group, All the Leads Mastermind. So thank you for indulging me there. I'm assuming my partners have nothing. Tim, anything you want to share?
So you just automatically assume I have nothing?
Well, you didn't respond to my text, so that's what I based that assumption on. Anything you'd like to share with the group?
You assumed correctly. I have nothing.
All right. Chad, anything you'd like to share with the group?
Not today.
I'll share something on Chad's behalf. He just posted a tips for the trainer, and that basically goes out to all of our subscribers. I believe it goes out to our leads also, and it was a really, really good tips for the trainer on the pros and cons of using a script in probate, in your probate calls. So if you haven't had a chance, watch that. It was a really good video. Great job, Chad. And Chad, you're just finishing up Mastery, right? So I won't ask you yet when the next. I won't ask you yet when the next one's scheduled. But any highlights from Mastery? Anything you want to talk about, or no?
I mean, the highlights. We've got a really good group. One of the most interactive groups we've had. So we've had a pretty good time. We might break the 9.5-hour record.
All right, for your marathon probate mastery training, right? 24 hours nonstop. All right, well, we have 2 in the queue, guys. I was hoping some more people would jump in there while I kind of rambled on, but if you would like to participate, do it now. Hit *6 and hit 1, and you will be next up. In the meantime, let's go to the first caller, phone number ending in 6163. You're up first. You're there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ill prepared to ask the first question. I was waiting to get into the dialogue to create that, but I'm really just getting started. So I'm just a sponge for information. I am a realtor in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and definitely have worked on estates and know some attorneys who have done a lot of probate that said they would help me. So I feel really ramped up to pursue this opportunity, and I'm anxious to learn more.
Awesome. Chad, any specific questions, Lisa, that you have, or just kind of a generic, what do I do first?
No, as a friend of mine in real estate said the other day, some of us feel like we're drinking from a fire hose, and besides this, I have other things going on, of course, so I'm just trying to settle into where do I begin and how do I organize this end of the business so that, I can really be efficient at it. So I'm really at the very base stages of getting getting things in order to take action.
You mean you actually have a life besides real estate and besides probate? Congratulations. That's great.
Well, yeah. Well, that too, but a lot of things going on in real estate in the spring market around here. So it's just extra busy right now. So, being pulled in a few different directions like everybody else, whether it's business or personal, there's always something going on, right? So anyway, I tune in, I get excited, and now I'm just like, okay, now I really need to take action, and I'm excited just to hear what other people have to say, what you guys have to talk about, and get myself organized. So, of course, any tips on, beginning this probate journey are great. I love the resources that you guys have shared with us, and just, need to pull it all together and come up with the time and energy and money to make it all happen.
Perfect. Go ahead, Chad.
I was just going to ask, have you done your orientation call with Tom?
With whom?
With Tom. That when you signed up, did you have an orientation call to kind of help you understand everything?
I don't recollect having an orientation call now.
Okay. What was your name?
I'm Lisa Ramsbottom.
Okay. Well, the first thing we'll do, we'll have Tom reach out to you and set up just a half an hour to kind of walk you through, because everything we offer, as our offering has grown to kind of meet your all's needs, it kind of becomes hard to digest because there's so much we can do to help you. So we like to at least give everyone a chance to get those, fill those blanks in and get your questions answered, so you know which things to do and in what order to get started. So we'll make sure Tom reaches out to you and sets that call up in the next couple of days.
Thanks.
All right, excellent. And also, Lisa, if you ever do get stuck, like you have a specific question, something you're just curious about, we mention this almost every call, but we have an extremely robust search bar on our website. So just go into the upper right hand area of the website, and there's a bar there. You can just type in almost anything, making my first calls, contacting attorneys, getting stuck. I mean, there's almost any phrase or word you put in there. If you play around with it, you'll be able to find the resources to, previous calls, places you can go on the website to help you. And as you get, after Tom does the orientation, as you get into it more, don't be afraid to, anytime you need help with anything, you can't find it on the website, just go to support@alltheleads.com, and just put your question in there, and somebody will always call you right back. Lisa, are you, we're not fun. Yeah, go ahead, Chad. Go ahead.
Lisa, I was unable to find you. Would your account be under someone else's name?
No.
Your last name is R-A-M what?
S as in Sam, B-O-T-T-O-M.
And you are a subscriber, right? You are signed up to get leads from us?
No, well.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, Darcy just chimed in. Lisa, you're talking to Darcy, but you haven't actually signed up yet. So once you actually sign up to get the leads, you would schedule the orientation call with Tom. That's why. But in the meantime, use the search bar at our website. Like I said, search around, and you can find almost anything that you need. And if you think you're ready to get started, I can have Darcy call you right back after this call. Do you want her to reach out to you?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, perfect. Darcy is on the call. She'll call you as soon as this call's over. Thanks.
All right. Super, guys.
All right. Appreciate it. We have 3 more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 1794. You're up next.
Hi, my name is Jackie Greco, and I think I'm in the same situation where I haven't had a, personal setup call. And also, besides the phone conversation, which I'm on now, is there also a webinar that I could be plugging into on the computer in the office?
Well, we have, excuse me, we don't necessarily have webinars. We do this call every Thursday, and we do a role play call. We do a role play call the first Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
Excuse me, and all that's archived. So we're approaching 600 hours of archive kind of knowledge base. There's multiple places you can find that. If you're in subscriber portal, you can go under education and training, conference call, archive. That's audio files. On the main page of alltheleads.com, if you look under the complete system, education and training, there's a conference call video archive, and there we have we put it there because it's searchable. So using that search bar in the top right on the home page, you can search, attorneys or surviving spouse or ROI, whatever keywords you're looking for, and it'll take you to the video version of that call archive. So there's a ton of resources there for you. It's just it's laid out in calendar format, so you can go by year and by month and find every call we've ever done.
Okay, thank you.
All right, excellent. Next up, we have phone number ending in 0056. You're up next.
My name's Kaylin.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Great, Kaylin. Take your time with your question because you're the last one in the queue, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. Don't be shy, guys. We got plenty of room this week. We don't have very many people, so hit *6 and hit 1. Sorry, Kaylin, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm in the Metro Detroit area. With this area, I've gone over to the Coleman Young building, which is right across the street from where I work at. And whenever I go over there, they don't really give me the information that I'm looking for. And that's why I'm more so considering your program. With the way that they have it set up over there, they don't really just have a list. You have to either have a name or a case number in order to get that information. And so I am looking into possibly enrolling in your services. But what I'm starting to see is that, oftentimes people are just saying that probates are too hard to get started with. I did face a little bit of difficulty with trying to go to the court myself to gather these files, but as eager as I am, I keep kind of hitting these roadblocks where when I put in action, the courthouse or the powers that be aren't really playing fair. And I want to know, is that simply because I don't know what I'm doing, or is it really that difficult to get started in the Detroit area, or do you guys have any kind of feedback for that?
So Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle is the way." That's my Stoic quote for the day. That's why there's such an opportunity in this space, man. Like even if you had full access, if your courthouse was easy, it still takes quite a bit of discipline and tolerance to be able to go down there and handwrite this stuff, bring it back, database it, skip trace it, and then finally get around to marketing 40 hours later. So that thins the herd quite a bit. Not many people are willing to do that. That's the part that we really wanted to change and say, what if we did that for you and did it better than you could for less money than you could do it? And that's kind of what we do. So what you can focus on is not the data acquisition and skip tracing and how to manage that and how to get a direct mail system set up. You can do the part you're good at. You can meet with people. You can focus on people, right? So, I mean, that's kind of what we do. We help you beat that learning curve. A lot of the other things we teach, like getting out of your office and going to face-to-face with an attorney, that's things that most people simply are unwilling to do. But the folks that do it, they find success really quickly.
I'm sorry. I'd also like to share that I actually just got done watching your video. You did like a conference call with a Flipman. You put it on YouTube April 1st.
Yep.
That was a great video. That actually, I've called all the leads. I am in your system. That's how I got the email about today's call and everything like that. But I want to, I guess, hear you talk just a little bit more about that team building. It sounds like a very, very important thing. I've considered it, but not to the depth that you might have gone through on that video. For a person like me who's never done wholesaling or anything like that, obviously once I get the first deal and there's that $50K check that I could build a team with, that's exactly kind of where I'm at with it right now. I want to get started, and I think that my first step is going to be to grab that lead list from you. I guess my concern is that, and naturally I realize that you've got, scripts and mailers and things like that, but I guess my concern is that I guess I just want to be as credible as possible once I first get started. I get the lead list from you. I'm already kind of struggling there, but get the lead list from you. That'll be, one problem less that I would have to deal with. But I guess my next question is, where would I go from there as far as like building a team if I don't really have the capital right now?
So you don't need any money. Just go ahead and get that obstacle out of the way. You don't have to have money to build your team. You're going to use your personality to do that. And we're going to show you how to build rapport and trust and get these people to want to be part of your team. So don't be concerned with that. You obviously do need money to get the leads and get started and get the marketing out the door, but save your money for that. You certainly don't need a $50,000 check to do it. What I would say to you, it sounds like you're a lot like my analytical side. Like, so you want to actually know what you're talking about. You want to understand it. There's over 600. We give away 95% of everything we do. So I can send you to our YouTube channel, to our blog, and you can be one of the best informed people in the country in probate. But it's all scattered out, and you've got to piece it together. We do a training called Probate Mastery that just hyper-focuses all that, and we go deep as investor and as brokerage. Like, we cover both, everything that you can do in this space. But it puts it into the right order. So you kind of shows you the demographics of our population and why probate's an opportunity. Then we look at everything you can do and who's going to help you do that, and get it into a written strategy for you. And then we spend like 4 hours just breaking apart the initial conversation and role-playing objections and going through the appointment. And that's going to be, in 9 hours, you can be one of the best informed real estate professionals in the country. And I think just hearing you talk, that's probably the best thing for your personality. You're probably going to get where you want to go fastest if you go through Mastery. Thanks. Versus trying to do this on your own. So we're the last class is in 44 minutes. We start the last session for this month, but if you want, you can sign up. I'll send you the recordings from this week. And then if there's anything that the videos don't cover, then you can jump on my calendar and we'll work one-on-one. But honestly, man, I could point you to a lot of places, but it sounds like you would benefit the most from just having a focused, specific training to get those questions answered.
Gotcha. Well, I'm highly motivated. At this point, what my next steps are going to be is to look into getting that probate list for Wayne County. Obviously, depending on, we've got a couple of different counties in the Metro Detroit area. So once again, because I'm starting on a lower tier, I think I need to probably go with the most affordable list and then work that to the best of my ability, so that I can hopefully come back and be a part of the larger group there, because it is something that I feel like I need to do. Set personal goals for myself and my family, and I just want to thank you for putting the content out there that you do, even despite you guys giving further help with giving leads and everything like that. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, Kaylin.
Anytime you feel stuck or you're not finding what you're looking for, remember in the top right of alltheleads.com, there's a search bar, and that's global search. So it's going to search audio, video, blogs, everything. So if there's something you're stuck on, like even if it would be a term that we would discuss in a role play call, just put in whatever keywords you can think of, and it'll bring up lots of content. It's kind of overwhelming now. But there's tons of resources there for you as you get into this. If you're not in a position to do training and leads, go get the leads and use that search bar and use our team. Like, pick up the phone and call us, and we'll point you in the right direction.
And Kaylin, Darcy again is on the call. She has a follow-up call scheduled with you in a month. Do you want her to reach out to you sooner, or you think you'll be ready in a month?
The part of me that wants to succeed in the business is telling her to call me today.
Okay. Well, you could just stop there. I'll have her do that. No problem. All right. Thanks a lot. All of a sudden, guys, we went from nobody in the queue to we've got 8 people, so I'm going to be closing the queue in about 5 minutes. Chad's got to be out of here right at 2 today to get to Mastery. So if last chance to jump into the queue and get your question answered this week, just hit *6 and then hit 1. Next up is phone number ending in 1151. You're up next.
Okay, hi. Hi, guys. My name's Regina Simmons. I actually am new to Florida Premier, and I spoke with Mark. I'm a little confused. I actually paid for a class for learning how to do probate, and I'm not sure if this is the same organization that I paid before or not. So that's one of my questions. And then secondly, of course, is this piggyback on what the gentleman just finished talking about is getting set up. Since I'm new to Florida Premier, trying to break into the probate market, I've done about maybe 15 flip properties, so I'm familiar with the process. I'm just not familiar with how to handle probate. And so that's why I'm very interested and very excited about it and trying to make sure that I do it the right way, because it's totally different from doing, just buying and flipping a property. So my question is, how do I get myself set up if I'm not in the same, if this is not the same organization? How do I get set up with you guys, and how will I find out if this is the same group that I've paid to be a participant in?
Regina, I'll answer that. I got it already, Chad. Darcy and Natalie are great. They're jumping on and giving me answers. Regina, you came to us from Frank Fitzpatrick. He is a teacher, speaker.
Right.
He travels the country.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He travels the country talking about, mainly to realtors and investors, talking about the probate program. So you took his course. And then about 2 years ago, Frank was teaching agents to go do it themselves, and he realized how few were actually doing it, so he started working with us. So it is a different company, but we work very closely together. We share all the same philosophies, and I think you've been speaking to Natalie with our company. I can have her reach back out right after the call and answer any other questions you have as far as our system. Is that okay?
That's fine. That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Perfect.
And then we could get this going, because even though I paid for the course, I haven't yet used it.
Gotcha.
So I need to get it going.
Sounds good. Well, we will make sure that happens right after this call. Natalie will reach out to you and get you started.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I look forward to working with you guys.
Pleasure. Thank you. All right. Next up is phone number ending in 8224. You're up next.
Hey, this is Peter from New Jersey. How are you?
Great, Peter. How about you?
Good. Hey, I'm on my actually my 5th transaction from you guys. Thank you for that. And
Nice.
So lightning strikes once, strikes twice, and I'm not handling them well. So they're typically on the callbacks, and they'll come in 8, 9 o'clock at night, and typically when I'm with my family and I'm trying to say, hey, do I answer this call or not? When I do answer the call, it's you are the piece of crap, scumbag, ambulance chaser, blah, 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 blah. So, and then what the problem is that what I've been doing is I just let them vent, and, I ask them for their contact information, I remove from the list, and sorry, blah, blah, blah. But usually they wind up hanging up on me, and I don't get their contact information. So I'm set up on a 3-step mail campaign, and when they get that second letter, they are really pissed off. So how do I handle those calls to be number one, be more effective in getting their contact information, so that if I can't convince them that my heart and intent is in the right place, to pull them off the list.
Hey, Peter, before Chad answers, when he's done giving you an answer, make sure you share, focus on the positive. You said you've done 4 deals, so share with us some of what you've done with those deals, and I'll put you in for the winner of the week. But I'll let Chad answer your question first. Go ahead, Chad.
Thanks.
So a couple of tactics here, and you'll have to figure out, what's going to work with your personality and what you think is the best fit in Jersey. Some of the people I've met from Jersey, I think if they hit me like that, I would be like, yeah, that's what my wife said, right? And then just shut up. And you can disarm people a lot of times with unexpected humor like that. They're going to be like, what? And I know in your part of the country, you can usually shock people, and they almost respect that at times.
Yep.
The other thing you can do is simply put it back at them. So you can label and mirror and put it back at them. So when they call and hit you with that, you can, obviously their ego is the one lashing out at you. They don't know you. They don't really, they're just pissed off. They're hurting, and they aren't about to admit weakness. So they're going to unload on you because they're protecting their own emotions. So understand that and don't ever take it personally. But knowing what's driving that behavior, you can say, listen, it seems like you're really upset, and then be quiet. You got to work your way through this. Don't let off the gas. Like, he's going to vent even more. It's going to take it up a notch if he's already that wired, and just let him blow off that steam. And then you can move toward, like, you've probably heard me talk about feel, felt, found.
Yep.
But let him, ratchet him up and let him blow that energy off. Even though it's really uncomfortable, it's still engagement, and engagement is where conversations start. So say, it's like you're upset, like you misunderstood why I reached out, and then just let that awkward silence hang, let him blow off, and then come back with, oh, I understand how you feel. Actually, 9 out of our 10 best clients felt the same way. What they found is that we actually reached out for the right reasons and made a big difference. So did you call just to blow some steam off, or would you like to hear them and maybe how I can help you? And if they hang up on you there, then you don't get their contact info. You may be less abrupt, and you can say, listen, I can understand other people have felt the same way. What they found is that we actually could make a big difference for them. Once they calm down, they realize that. But if you'd rather me take your name off the list, just give me your full name right now, and I'll make sure you don't get any more letters from us. And you could try different approaches. But the idea is to keep them on the phone and let them blow off as much steam as they can. And then as soon as you feel like they've calmed down, ask them an open-ended emotional question. So something like, well, listen, we reach out to people like you at the risk of getting this phone call, but it's because we know we can make a difference, and it's really tough for most families. What's been the toughest thing for you guys?
Sure.
And every once in a while, and this is 50-50 probably, but every once in a while they'll go, well, you know what, man? It's just, there's just so much, and I'm working overtime, and then boom, you're in the conversation, and they're drawing you a roadmap. They're telling you all their problems, and they don't know it, but deep in their mind, they're bonding with you. So you'll turn around about half of them doing things like that, and don't be afraid to try different things. Humor works well. Awkward silence is beautiful. People can work through their own problems if you just let them, if you just be quiet and let them keep running. Eventually they'll be like, you know what, man, I like you. You haven't said a damn thing, right?
Yeah, and one of the things that I noticed is that I think one of them is psychological on me, because both of them have been women, and kind of like I don't want to, I got to get better at handling them in that respect, because they get downright nasty, or the couple that I've had have been downright nasty, and I don't want to get into it with them, so I gotta leverage those tactics you suggested. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's a woman, I love Chad's line. Damn, you sound just like my wife.
Yeah.
They're either going to curse out and hang up, or they're going to laugh. So you got a 50-50 chance.
The other thing I was going to say, I want to make sure when you do get their information, are you opting them out in the option status tab? Or are you clicking the opt outs?
Yeah, if I do get their information, the first one.
Okay.
She called me back, threatened the lawyer and blah, 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 and I was able to search her through phone number in the database because I switched my phone system to capture that information. And then this last one, I searched everywhere. I couldn't figure out who the hell she was or who she was related to. So, it came up empty on that one.
Yeah. All right, now tell us the good part. Let's hear your check cashing story.
So the first deal was a widow who had to downsize. So I had a nice listing.
Wait a minute. You had the audacity to reach out to a surviving spouse?
Well, it gets better. I did, and she loved me. I sold her house and I got her into a new house. So that was a double transaction.
So before we move on, I want to underscore that because that's something we talk about way too often. Too many people are afraid to reach out to surviving spouses. Exactly what you're talking about is what happens in a lot of those situations. Their income is cut in half. Their physical capacity to take care of the property is cut in half. They need to downsize, so they need to sell a house and buy a house. So for all you people out there that are saying, well, the deceased last known address matches the PR address, I'm not going to bother that person, you're doing them a disservice by not reaching out because those people need our help more than the kids a lot of times.
Absolutely. Then the second one was, a son of the parents who passed. So that one was kind of straightforward. But he wanted to take his time, and I think his strategy was to work through fixing the house up and selling it. So I gave him a couple months, and actually 3 months, to do what he needed to do. Then I finally, got it listed and sold it in the first weekend. So that was a nice one. This next one that I have is a very nice listing. Again, a surviving spouse. She needs to downsize and she wants to get back to Atlanta with her family. So that one's coming on the market in 2 weeks. So 2 surviving spouses. So that's 3 transactions, and then this other one that the son was selling. So that's 4. Yeah, so good stuff. Thank you.
So
good for you, Peter. Thanks.
4
Thanks
people
for sharing.
and 5 transaction sides.
Say what, Chad?
It was 4 people and 5 transactions, right?
Yeah, 4 people, 5 transactions.
I think your hat's in the ring for win of the week, sir.
Yeah. Amen.
Thanks for sharing. All right, excellent. We got a full queue, guys. Thank you very much, Peter. Next up is phone number ending in 2686. You're up next.
Hey guys, this is Kevin. Got a question. We started gaining some traction, but here's where we're kind of getting sidetracked a little bit. And I'll give you like 4 examples and then tell me what you think or your opinion or whatever, how we can do better at this. It's really all about competition, right? So the first example would be you're talking to somebody and you got to them just a little late and they say, well, we already have an offer from a cash buyer because it's a rehab type house. That's one where it's a little difficult to overcome when they just won't even consider, hey, I can get you more for that. They've already decided. The other one would be, we already have a realtor, right? Usually that happens more at the higher price points. They seem to be better connected. And they already have their mind made up there. And then the third one would be kind of the same thing, except, hey, we finally got in to an appointment, but now it's just like a regular listing appointment. You got competitors. They're interviewing 2 or 3 other agents and having a hard time figuring out, like, what value do we bring over and above what they do when they don't need estate sales, they don't need any of the typical stuff that we might be saying. It's just a nice house that's already cleaned out, ready to go. So what value extra, could we bring? And then the 4th one is the proverbial, oh, we already have it handled, right? And it is hard. I know we talk about this almost every week, but that one's a tough one, tough cookie to crack because they've already got their mind made up, like you said, Chad. I've already talked to somebody, or I've already heard something from somebody. I don't want to listen to you anymore. And, you know, even if I send them another letter, sometimes that really works well, by the way, but at other times they're still closed-minded. But we did have success, by the way, when we said, oh, okay, great, I know you don't remember getting our letter, blah, blah, blah. Could I resend it? And they said, sure. And then I'll call them back after, you know, 4, 5, 6 days, and that conversation goes a lot better, I have noticed. They're warmed up a little bit better. But any opinions or whatever you can throw at these, would be greatly appreciated.
I had an answer for every one of them, and then they all blended together on that last one because I was thinking. So, jog my memory. The first scenario was?
It was, hey, somebody basically, in so many words, they're saying somebody's already.
Oh, they had an offer. So the first one, what I was going to say, the first one was you said they had a cash offer. You didn't say whether or not they signed it. So my first response would be, oh, great. Well, it's good to know that you have interest. Have you signed a purchase agreement with that person? And
yeah,
if the answer is, so yeah, if you've already signed, then I would try to lead them into what they don't know. And if you want to jump into a role play, we can do that. So, well, that's great, Kevin. Like, at least you know at least there's interest in it. So did you sign the offer? Like, are you under contract?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Listen, I know that it can sometimes be tempting when you get that first offer. You're like, wow, that was easy. But usually when offers come that quickly, it means there's a lot of equity on the table. And it's okay if you're okay to part with that or share that equity with an investor, but I think that you should at least be able to know your options. So if it's all right with you, I'd like to show you what I think the home would sell if it were in its very best condition, if we just threw it on MLS, or if you go with a cash buyer. You can tell me what the number is if you want. You don't have to. But at least I know that you understand your options and what's out there. Because, I mean, is it more important to you that you have a check in 30 days or that you get the maximum amount of equity for the family?
Okay. Is that a question?
And so start, like, plant those seeds. Now, had they already signed the contract, I would drag them into the fear territory of, okay, so if you don't mind me asking, when's the closing date? Okay, and when does their due diligence period end? What you're probably going to find is they don't even know the answer to those things. Was the earnest money deposited today, or has it been deposited since the contract was ratified? And you're trying to get them into uncomfortable, unknown territory because they're being unrepresented, and they probably signed something they didn't fully understand. So if you highlight that, you gain some trust. So if the deal blows up, and there's, I'd say, a 40% chance that those will blow up, then you'll be their first phone call because you showed off your contract knowledge just a little bit to get their attention. And what we're trying to do is create an emotional sticking point. We want them to remember that. Holy, that guy scared the hell out of me, but he knew what he was talking about, and this deal fell apart. Let's call him. And it's just, if they've already signed a contract, you don't want to try to get in the way of that. That's unethical. But if they don't understand what they signed, I want to highlight that so when they are looking for guidance, they're going to call me first. The next one, we already have a realtor. That one's like, I always try. So the first question is, have you signed a listing agreement? And the answer is usually no. They have a realtor in mind, but they tell you they already have a realtor working on it. And I try to get in the door last, try to get them to commit to an appointment a week out and get their realtor over there first, and then try to come in after them. Because when you do, the contrast is going to be great. Like, you're going to talk about all these different things you can help with, even after the sale. So one of the things we do for every client, just for an example, Mr. Smith, after the probate closes, we make sure that you have a free consultation with our financial team. So you sit down with a registered investment advisor, a CPA, and a family law attorney, and they take as long as you see value in that, they'll take a look at your estate and make sure that it's properly structured so you get the maximum return on your investments, but also so your family never has to go through this again. So that's just one example of the many things that we do for every client. I think a lot of folks don't really expect that. They think we're just real estate professionals, but we've built a team of people to help in the overall situation you're going through. And some of that's before, some of that's during, and some of that's after the real estate sold. So would Friday at 3 be a better spot or 1?
Okay.
And just show them some of those things that you do outside of the scope of being a realtor that don't cost you any money, but have a really high perceived value to them. And that's how you can differentiate yourself. Maybe they don't need that, maybe they won't use it, but you still look like, you raised the bar for that other realtor. And they have that to think about before they sign anything with them.
Okay. So that probably takes care of the third one where we're in a listing appointment.
And what's happening there?
Go ahead.
That goes hand in hand with when you're at a listing appointment and you're up against competition as well.
Right. You answered it. You said basically, Ched. Yeah. And then what was the fourth one, Kevin?
Fourth one is that weekly one we always get. We already have it handled. They're closed-minded. They don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. And what all have you tried, Kevin?
Well, this last one, like I said, what's actually worked for me is when they hesitate a little bit about they don't remember getting the letter, which I have to be honest, very few people remember getting the letter, to be honest. And so I said, okay, go ahead and send me another one, and which I do. I turn right around that day, I mail it out. 3 or 4 days later, whatever, I'll call them back, and that's usually a warmer conversation. However, this one guy yesterday was not. He came back, and I said, do you remember getting the letter? He goes, no, I don't remember any of that. My wife handles that. And I'm thinking, great. Well, why did you tell me to mail it? Number one. And then I started going in about how we could help him. He goes, nope, already got it handled. Thanks. So that one didn't go too well, but it's just close.
You've got a couple of these. You have a couple of these under your belt, right, Kev?
Yeah.
So have you tried, like when they say, oh, we've got it handled, try a little bit of humor, like just get a little more casual, a little less professional, and be like, ha-ha, the famous words of my best clients, and then be quiet.
Yeah.
And silence, well, if you're going to be a smartass like that, silence is key. Like, don't walk over your own setup, but just say, ha-ha, the famous words of the best clients I ever helped. And then wait for him. And it might be awkward for a half second or 5 seconds. But what you're probably going to hear is, what? What are you talking about? And there's your opening. And that's called engagement. So don't be afraid to try things like that. Like, you're not going to lose a real estate license for being a smart ass, but you might make a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Hey, I hate to cut you off. We got 7 more in the queue. We want to get to everybody. If you need any more help, call us back, and we'll do some one-on-one with you after the call. Did all those things help a bit?
No, yeah, it always helps. Thank you.
All right, you're very welcome. Next up is phone number ending in 2500. You're up next.
Hi, this is Gary Turner. I'm calling from Florida. I'm new to the leads, or I've been working some historical leads, and then I got my first fresh leads this month around the 17th, I guess it was, and of course I waited a week for letters to go out and another week to start making phone calls. 2 reasons for this call. One, I wanted to talk to Jackie and tell her what my experience has been, because I've had a little bit of preliminary experience, success, but I also have a question. So would you want to hear about the success that I'm experiencing first, or would you like to hear the question?
Please. No, go with the success first, Gary, please.
Okay. So what I did was I signed up for the ISA calling, and they did the first set of calls last week, and they actually booked 2 appointments for me.
Nice.
One was yesterday, and the client that it was actually day before yesterday, but he was sick, so he rescheduled for yesterday. And and I met with him. He is interviewing another agent that claims that they've got a buyer, and I just expressed to him that I don't have a buyer. I've got multiple buyers, and so I've kind of left it with him to call me back. And if I don't hear from him in a couple of days, I'm going to call him because I know he's in from out of town and will be here till the weekend, and he'll probably make a decision before he leaves.
Great.
The other one was I went through the leads, and I realized that the ISA team doesn't call the do not call list numbers. So I've been calling the do not call numbers myself. And one of them was an attorney that I spoke to yesterday, and he was amazed that I would call him on his cell phone, and was very curious as to how I got the information. And I told him, that I hire a company that does the research for me, and they furnished me about 5 phone numbers of all the leads, and his cell phone was the first one that came up on my list, and so that's how I was calling him. So as I talked to him, I expressed, that not only was I calling about a particular file, but I wanted to talk to him about handling all of his probate needs, that he doesn't want to do his own lifting. So he warmed up to the idea of we might be able to do some business. So I made an appointment for 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I went down and met him, and it turned out that he knew about 10 people that I knew, and so we ended up spending most of the time sharing stories about people that we knew and business that we had done with those people. And at the end of the conversation, he said, we can definitely do some business. He said, the file that you called on, unfortunately, that would have been a great deal, but a neighbor walked in and paid cash for the property as is. But it would have been a great deal had it not worked out that way, but he's definitely going to refer me other business. And I promised him that I would refer him business. I explained to him that I just purchased 270 leads, and out of the 270 leads, there were probably about 10 of the leads when I went through it that had no attorney. And so, I planted the seed that, hey, it might not be a file, it could be 10 files for him. And
wow,
so
that's great.
You
did so many things right there, Gary. I don't know where to start. So
yeah, really
that's
job.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to put you in for the winner of the week. You actually have to have a deal, so please call back next week or the week after when you get a deal, and you'll be definitely in contention. But thank you for sharing.
But what I wanted to tell Jackie is, Jackie, I have a different approach. I decided that I was going to jump out there, and I might have some failures. I kind of did that with the historical leads, which they aren't as current as the ones that I'm having success with now. And so I made a few mistakes. I know what my mistakes were. I'm trying not to repeat those mistakes with current leads. But the other one was today I was calling leads, and the guy asked me to do a CMA of a property, and he said, your timing is perfect. We just finished the probate. We're ready to sell the property. We did talk to somebody in the area, but we would like for you to give us your ideas on price and marketing. And so it's not a done deal, but it may, in fact, turn out to be a listing.
Awesome. And then you said you had a question too, Gary.
So I had called, and I forget if I talked to Jim or Tom or who, but I'm curious as to what the ISA script sounds like when they're calling my leads. And I was hoping that somebody could call me as a lead and and go through the pitch so that I could, number one, just kind of get a feel for what they're saying, and number two, if I want to tweak it, that perhaps I could refine it a little bit. Is that possible?
Sure. Tim, who would be the best person to call him back? Go ahead.
I'm going to give you a buzz after the call, and we'll walk through what we need to do to maybe help you get what you need. We're not going to, that's not something that we do, because generally speaking, it's not always the same person that makes the calls. We have different people that call at different times. But did you, when you got started, did you complete a profile and all that information in terms of what's going out, what you want said about you and all that? Did that get done?
Yes, I was very detailed, and I apologize if I'm being too detailed, because I realize they have a certain amount of time that is effective when they make a contact, and that's why I'm curious. Do they have a 15-second opportunity, or do they have a 45-second opportunity?
And as you know, that's going to vary. We're going to certainly vary by call, but let's take this offline. I'll give you a buzz after this is over with, and we'll chat a little bit. How about that?
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Hey, Chad, do you have to get going now, or do you have a couple more minutes? I know you got to get going on the Mastermind call, right?
I'm going to jump off and get set up for Mastery.
All right, we have 6 more in the queue, guys. Thank you, Chad. Great call as always. Any of you that have to get off for Mastery, go right ahead. We have 6 more in the queue, so we're going to obviously probably go about 10 minutes over on this call, but the queue is closed, so if you have anything you need help with, just call us directly after the call if you're not already in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 2729. You're up next.
Hi, this is Bill Janiga from Michigan. 2
Hey, Bill.
points. Hi. One, I started the program about roughly 2 weeks ago. I transferred over my website, redoing the trifolds, and I did have the opportunity to speak with Tom this week, and also I think it was Mark for the website, or Greg. So all that's going really well. You guys got a great team, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
With respect to the gentleman from Michigan that called earlier, he mentioned Wayne County, and I don't want him to think that he was having a tough time necessarily with Wayne County. That's just the way they are, and there's a lot of issues over there. Because I've been doing the probate and the sheriff's sale for a number of years, and believe me, it's not him. It's just unfortunately, it's just the attitude with the county. He won't experience that elsewhere. But I guess the best place, if I want to leave a comment for him, would be, is it on the Facebook page?
Yeah, all the leads Mastermind. Go if you're in that group. Yeah. Otherwise, join. But yeah, that'd be a great place to share your experiences there for with him and everybody else. Appreciate it.
Well, one of my thoughts was if he needs real estate questions, I'm more than glad to give him the information. If he doesn't have access to it as strictly an investor, be more than glad to do that. And the other question I've got is, it's a little odd. I'm attending an IRA conference in Chicago on June 7th and 8th. And if I want to find out if there's other probate people that are going to be in the city for those days, is it best to put it on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I think so. That'd be the best. We've got what, 5,000 members now, so we've got pretty good cross-section of America there. If anybody, they're going to see it eventually if you put it in there. Can you think of anywhere else, Chad, that he should put it? That's probably the best spot, right? Oh, Chad left. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You already kicked Chad off there, bud.
Jim, anywhere else?
No, that's
yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all your
All right. You're very, very welcome. Next up is phone number ending in 8557. You're up next.
Hi, this is Victor London from Baltimore. How are you doing?
Great, Victor. How about you?
I'm doing well. So I've been basically looking up some new lead sources online. I figured out about this one the other day. I just had a couple of questions about it. So I know I was talking to, I think Lisa this morning. She gave me a call. So she was telling me you get about 190, well, for my area, it's like 190 leads or so. So basically, I've done cold calling. That's actually how I got some of my first deals, was through cold calling lists. So I was a bit confused on basically it sounds like basically each customer does their own cold calls. Is that kind of how it goes?
Well, you have two options. You can do the calls yourself, or we can do them for you. So, and the same thing with the mail. You can do it yourself, or we can do it for you.
Okay. So
and was it Darcy or Natalie that you spoke to? We don't have a Lisa. Do you think it was Darcy or Natalie?
Maybe it was Natalie.
I'm
not sure.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, I spoke to one of the two. So they were helpful and nice about everything. So basically, would it be like an extra charge to have someone do the cold calling instead for you, or how does
what I'll do in the interest of time, Victor, if you don't mind, I'll look you up in our leads here. I think it is Natalie, and I'll have her call you back right after the call and go over that with you again. Okay? Okay.
Okay. And then just a couple other things. So basically, with this, I would probably do it where most likely I would call myself. So is it best to call the PR first and then the attorney? Because when I've done probate stuff, I've usually gone through the PR, and then we speak with the attorney later down the line.
We recommend a two-prong approach. Reach out to the executor first. They're the decision makers. They're ready to list the property right now, and frankly, you don't need the attorney's permission. Having said that, after you speak to the executors, reach out to the attorneys. And a good way to do that is look down your list every month and see who the repeat players are and reach out to them first. But we recommend, if you have the bandwidth and you have the time, call every attorney, call every executor first, and then call every attorney. And if you don't have the bandwidth, Natalie will call you back and explain to you how we can do that for you.
Okay. And then basically, this is the kind of last question. So, for each of the accounts, is it you kind of because usually I'll have a Google number or something. Does this account come with your own number, or would it be I would kind of have to use my Google number or my own sort of?
No, you would use your own phone number, and then Tim, you can explain if our ISAs are calling. I think they do have a dedicated local number, correct? Tim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we make the phone calls when you sign up for ISA program. We actually get a local phone number that is your number that they can actually call back on, as well as us calling out on. That way it's not your main number. You know exactly where those calls are coming from, and when they call back, our ISAs will also take that call, and it's just yet another way that we serve you. So literally it's there, and as long as you're using our ISA services, that number is your number and you can use it. So we make sure we take care of that for you.
Okay, and then that number, it'll show when you call people and when incoming calls come, and then those calls will come directly to you, to me as the customer, or would it go to your call center and then it would be transferred?
They're coming to our call center. We're taking the calls for you. We're sending the number out. I mean, you can have us put a different number out there if you want, but the whole point of doing this is we're trying to do as much of this for you and let you use your valuable time to do the things that you need to do, which is talking to the right people when it's the right time to talk to them. So they take the inbound call, they know who the call is for, and they do the same thing they would do on an outbound. When that call comes back in, if it's, they're calling, they know that they're calling for you, they're going to try and book that appointment for you. So it's another opportunity to succeed. And if they don't do that and they leave a voicemail, a lot of times what people do is they don't listen to the voicemail, they just return the call. And, I do that, and a lot of people do. So you're getting all of that without having to, deal with it yourself.
Okay.
All righty?
I think I got it. Yep.
All right. Let's keep rocking.
All right, keep up the good work. And we got two more in the queue, guys, so we're not going to run as far over as I thought. Roger Lacey, I saw you were in the queue and you dropped out. You've always got something great to say. If you want to jump back in, I'll let you in, but he may have had to go. Next up is phone number ending in 4494. You're up next.
Hi, this is Chandra. Can you hear me?
Hi there. Can hear you great.
Oh, okay. I was calling in because I've been a part of the letter where you guys send the letters for me and using the ISAs to make the phone calls. And so this is probably, they've already went through 2 months.
Right.
And this month they would have just gotten a list to go through, but I haven't received any calls so far. And I don't know if it's the particular county that I selected or if it's just not enough leads yet. Just trying to figure out if I maybe need to switch counties or just...
Yeah, how many leads are you getting per month in your county?
It's only about 30 per month in that particular county.
Yeah, it may just be, obviously it may be a matter of lead count. It may take you a little bit longer to get some traction just because the sheer volume of leads isn't there. You know, and some of them are probably on the do not call, so they're not calling those. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. You could either switch counties, go to a more populous county, or you could add another county. We give you a break if you want to add a second county. After 2 months, it's definitely premature to give up on it yet. I mean, you know, if you were in a county with hundreds of leads and, you know, we were calling them and you didn't get anything, I might be more inclined to tell you to switch counties. But, I mean, this program works everywhere. My guess would be it's going to take a little bit longer for you to get traction. But if you want to talk about another county, who was your, I'll look you up and I'll have your sales representative call you back and they can go over some options for other counties.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay? All right. You're very welcome. Last up this week is, Jackie is back. Phone number ending in 1794. Jackie's back again. Hey, Jackie. Are you there?
Yes, I am here. How are you?
Okay. Great.
I had it on mute. So I've been listening in and out between phone calls. Can I think it was Natalie or Naomi? I wrote it somewhere. Hold on a second. Can you have her
Probably
call
Natalie.
me as well? Natalie, can you
Sure.
have her call me as well? You have you have my office number. Can I give you my cell number?
Sure. Jackie, have you spoken to her before?
No.
Okay. Are you in our system? Are you getting emails from us?
Yeah, I'm getting emails from you, and I also I think started with Frank Fitzpatrick a while ago.
Okay, what I'll do is I have your phone number here. The starts in 732, ends in 794.
No, that's my office number. It ends in 6640. Do you have that number? I'm happy
I have your last.
out loud.
I have your last name, Grieco.
Correct.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll look you up and I'll verify who your account representative is, and I'll have them call you back right after the call. Okay?
No problem. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Boy, we got through a lot of people in a short period of time, guys. We're almost right on time, just a couple of minutes over. Thank you so much. Great call. Some varied questions, some great success stories. You guys have been here for a while. You know I'm kind of a broken record. I always end the calls the same way. I want to thank everybody for taking an hour out of your day to be here. I want to particularly thank those that actively participated, and I want to challenge each one of you, take one idea, one thought, one story, one thing that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and come back and share your results with the group next week. Thank you so much, guys. Make it a great week, and we will talk to you same time next Thursday.